The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Hello everyone, we missed you. My name is Bea Prata and I'm with
Ariana Metleski.
And today we're your hosts. So Ari, you got a special person giving you flowers nowadays?
No, Bea, it's Easter.
Well, that was harsh. Well, Easter comes to spring and spring gives flowers.
Flowers. Let's see what the greenhouse has to say about that.
Hey, thanks girls. So I'm here with Mrs. Clausen and she's here to tell me a little bit about the Greenhouse Club. So can you just tell me a little bit about it and what you guys do?
Yeah, so we had a couple students at NBCHS who went up to Mr. Nickel, our principal, this year and said, we didn't know we had a greenhouse, why isn't it running? And he said, we want to get it up and running, but it needs a lot of work and of course funds. Would you like to write a letter? If you write a letter, I can present it to some higher ups and see if we can get it up and going again. So we had Kira Clausen and Victoria Campbell. They wrote a really well-written letter. They presented it to our school community council, and they okayed it and they provided funds for us to get up and running. Our school division has been awesome. They've also are getting our electrician and they're doing new electrical in there because all of the electrical for the windows that open and close are very old and outdated. And they were in there working yesterday. We got some of the windows fixed. So that's kind of where we're at. It's a place where kids can learn about growing, learn about different types of plants, soil, what's needed to grow different things, and basically to get together and just celebrate that and learn how to grow food and different types of plants.
That's great. I'm really glad you guys got that back up and running and are renovating it. It's such a great part of the school. So what days do you guys meet?
Right now we're meeting Mondays and Fridays, so from 3:30 to 5. And we just started planting some of our plants this past Friday. So we're going to do a watering schedule. So if some of the plants need to be watered throughout the week, then we're going to have kids go in throughout the week to check on the plants.
Do you guys just meet straight at the greenhouse or?
Yeah, so usually they'll come to the library first because that's usually where I am at the end of the day. And they'll just meet straight up there on Monday and Fridays.
So you meet after school then?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Does the club run all year long or is it just in the spring?
We are hoping to run all year long. We are just making sure that we have the heat and the windows, and we're doing a lot of infrastructure building. So we have Mr. Stebanek, one of our construction teachers. He's been building us, he built us a soil car so we can mix soil and move everything around. We're also going to do some infrastructure of rainwater barrels as well. So he's helping us with the infrastructure so that we hopefully starting next year we can run all year long.
Nice, that's awesome. So do you need any prior experience to join the club or do you learn everything there?
No prior experience. If you're a student at NBCHS and you're interested in growing plants, we'd love to have you.
So for the new students that don't really know much about working with plants and stuff, what skills will they learn?
So we have had a few sessions. So we also have Lisa Blargen. She's one of our educational assistants in the school. She has a wealth of knowledge with horticulture and gardening and growing and keeping seeds. So we've had a session where the kids learned about different types of seeds, what kind of growth and what kind of length they need, what kind of conditions. We also learned about seed viability. So if you plant 10 seeds, maybe only 6 will come up, so that aspect. So it's not just going in and planting and looking after plants. It is hands-on experience, but they're also learning a little bit more, and we're going to be researching as well.
That's great. That's all really good information to know. So what plants are you guys currently growing?
We have a variety of plants. On Friday, We planted strawberries, watermelon, types of marigolds, different types of flowers, some herbs such as basil, cilantro. So really a wealth. We really let it up to the students to see what they wanted to plant. They were worried about, okay, is the seed going to come up? Is it going to grow? And that's the whole point of the club. So it's to experiment. If something doesn't grow or it dies, okay, what did we do wrong? What kind of conditions to research so that it does grow and it does come up and it's a healthy plant and it can produce fruit or vegetables or whatever the plant is there to do. So it's the whole learning experience of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. The greenhouse must be looking gorgeous with all those plants now. So do you guys have any big upcoming projects that you guys are going to be working on?
Not at this point. This is just our startup year, so we're starting on a very small scale, and all the kids are doing 10 or 15 plants. We may have, at some point, we may plant more flowers and do like some kind of a flower sale or sales so we can generate some funds for the Greenhouse Club to keep going. So like I said, there's some infrastructure. Mainly, we are taking donations if anyone wants to donate soil or if they have some extra larger pots or hanging pots that they don't need anymore. We would love to have those donations if people have those things kicking around at their house or if they just want to help out.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for coming out today. And it's been great learning about the Greenhouse Club with you. Back to you, girls.
Okay, that was some good information from the greenhouse, and track is starting up now.
Yeah, I don't know much about track because I decided to quit halfway through, and I'm not really good at track, which is why I quit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So here's Hannah with some information about track.
Okay, thanks girls. I'm here with Mr. Webster today. He's going to tell me a bit about our track and field program. So you're one of the coaches. Do you have any other coaches working with you?
Yeah, so Miss Thiel, she coaches us. She's coached here at the school for, I think, over 25, 30 years, track and field. And then Miss Roxanne Perstupa as well, which does the throw. So Miss Thiel does like the hurdles and the mid-distance, and I do like the sprinters and jumpers and that.
Okay, and so you were just talking about kind of categorizing your athletes. So what kind of events do you guys train for?
All right, so we do 100, 200, 400, 800, 1500, 3000, long triple high, and then we got javelin, discus, and shot put, and then we have quad as well. So then generally for athletes, if there's usually certain categories, like usually a thrower tends to be just kind of in the throwing spot, but sometimes like if you can have like a taller athlete, they could be like a discus and a triple jumper, right? So there's certain kind of categories where an athlete will fit, and then we try to get them in the best spot they can. Like some, for instance, might be all like mid-distance running, and some might be all just sprinters, but usually sprinters translates to also doing like long jump and triple jump. And so we just kind of find the best, but they can only compete in 4 events.
Okay.
And then basically grade 9 up can go to provincials, and then they can compete in those 4 events. And if they get first at districts, any of those events, then they can go to provincials.
Nice, okay. And so besides your districts and provincials, do you have any other meets that you guys go to prepare?
Yeah, so this year we're going to Swift Current, which is only grade 9s up. And we're going to be going there May 3rd. And then we also have Lloydminster, which will be a thing he says on the 7th and 14th as well, which we'll go to. So it's kind of nice because since COVID happened, we haven't been able to go to very many meets because of it, because kind of COVID kind of shut a lot of stuff down, and the Lloydminster had work being done on their track. So it's going to be nice that we can actually go and participate at a few meets before districts and provincials.
Yeah, things are kind of opening so that you can, see what it's like, especially for new athletes that are just coming. So your age range, you said, like it's right from grade 7 here?
Yeah, so we go from grade 7 up to grade 12. So grade 7 would be bantam, or sorry, we got Pee-wee is grade 7s, grade 8s would be bantam, grade 9s would be intermediate, grade 10s juniors, then 11, 12s would be seniors.
Nice, okay. And so what are you guys doing like in practice to prepare for said meets?
So generally at the start of the year, we just do basically circuit. And within that circuit, we'll have like a throwing thing, and then usually have like a hurdle mid-distance thing, and then a jumping, sprinting thing, and they kind of work on those 3. Because sometimes what will happen is someone will like think they're just like a sprinter or whatever, and then they try something else, they realize, oh, I'm like really good at this said thing, and that might be another avenue for them. So we kind of get them to try everything, and then it's more so just kind of general training, and then just understanding how your body moves and works. And that's kind of the nice thing about track is you're not focusing on just like skills, you're focusing on basically your athleticism and how to move your body, and basically helps you for all your sports. So it's kind of just a holistic view of kind of getting better.
Nice, that makes perfect sense. So have you guys been able to practice outside at all yet?
No, too much snow.
Too much snow, yeah.
Yeah.
When do you think, maybe in the next few weeks you'll be?
I'm hoping next Monday or Wednesday because it's supposed to warm up this week, but we'll have to see. If it's too wet, we might have to be a little bit in for a little bit longer, but it's not too bad being inside because we can do a lot of stuff. It just kind of hinders doing some events, but we still have a lot of time in the season to do all our events outside. So.
Nice, so just focus on training the athleticism first and then go more focused in on each event.
On the events, yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, thanks for giving me your insight. I'm here with Kira, and we're going to talk a bit about track. So you play at the school, and then you also are like with a club.
Yeah.
What club are you with?
STFC in Saskatoon. And then I also do in Battleford for the indoor season, I run for them.
Okay, so explain a bit to me about like the difference between your indoor season that you mentioned and outdoor season.
So indoor season, you have like a less range of events. So you have like a 60 meter instead of like 100 meter, and then the long jump and like all like the jumping stuff is all the same, and then you have longer distance for like distance, and then longer hurdles for like 100 meter instead of 60 meter, and kind of stuff like that, yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so speaking of events, what events do you do personally?
I do the hurdles, but mainly like the 100 meter, 60 meter. I do the 100 meter, and then long jump, and what else do I do? That's basically it, but I tried a few new things like pole vault and triple, and I might start trying pole vault at practice, so you never know.
That's exciting. Okay, and so can we do pole vault at the school, or is that only when you're with your club?
That's only with the club. The school doesn't have any pole vault, sadly, or else I think a lot of people would actually do it.
It seems like a fun one to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so with regard to like practices at school, so now that the school season's going, have you guys made it outside yet?
Yeah, we did yesterday. We had one practice.
Nice, okay. And so, I mean, Mr. Webster, he had mentioned that it was more inside just skill developing and stuff, but now once you get outside, can you work more on your events, like specifically?
Yeah, once we're outside, we can do a lot more like training and like tempos and sprint workouts instead of just like in the gym doing jumps and
basic exercises and stuff. Makes sense. Okay, so you have a few meets coming up. Are you feeling ready or just excited to get a bit more practice in?
Definitely more practice because I'm going on a vacation, so then once that's over, I really have to lock in and get to it because there's a Calgary meet I go to, and there's a Swift Current for the school too, but I don't know if I'm going to go to that one, but
Makes sense, okay. And so provincials are obviously a topic all the time. Last year, provincials, what did that look like for you?
Last year, I did long jump, hurdles, 80 hurdles, and then 200 and 100. And in the 100, I got third, hurdles first, long jump first, and then what's the last one? 200, I got fourth.
Awesome.
And I got second in aggregate. I didn't really know how I was going into it, but I did really well, and I was kind of aiming for aggregate, but I didn't quite make it because of the 200, but
that's still very impressive.
Second's good, so.
Nice, okay. And you're headed for a trip, did you say?
Yep, Costa Rica for the school travel club.
Cool, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so hi Cam, how are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good as well. You're an athlete for the track team as well. Tell me a bit about what kind of events you play.
So in previous years, I've done hurdles, shot put, 400, and the 200.
That's a lot.
But this year, I'm thinking of switching it up because I'm not a fan of some of the events. So I think I'm going to replace hurdles with the 400 with a different throwing event. So that's kind of been new this year.
Nice. So what kind of throwing event?
I tried javelin, didn't go too well.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to try discus.
Nice. Okay. So still undetermined, but probably a throwing event.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So you have two meets coming up, and then provincials, of course. So are you ready for them? Excited for them?
I can't go to the Swift Current one, but there is one in Lloyd, and I'm super excited for that one.
Nice. Like practices wise, what has your experience been with practices? Have you been able to get outside?
Yes, yesterday was our first practice outside, and we were able to set up a lot more hurdles than we did inside. Inside, we set up maybe 2 hurdles, but yesterday we had 5 or 6 going.
Oh, nice.
And we get to throw like outside shot puts. Like there's a difference between indoor and outdoor, and it's a lot different, and it was good just to get back into the groove of that.
Yeah, getting the actual feel of what the events will be like. Okay, so provincials wise, once you get past those other meets, provincials like last year, I mean, we always talk about this year, but how did last year go for you?
Last year was very, very good. It was my first time going, and I made it for 2 of my events, hurdles and shot put. And going into it, I didn't expect to do too well. I just wanted to go and get a personal best. I ended up getting 3rd in hurdles and 3rd in shot put. And honestly, it was just such a great experience and so fun to be around other athletes like that. And just, I mean, the weather wasn't as good, but it was still such a great experience.
Amazing. Okay, well, I'm wishing you luck in this year's provincials.
Thank you.
That was some pretty good information coming from our 2 excellent athletes and an excellent coach as well. So thanks, Hannah. Are there any other sports going around?
Yes, badminton is just wrapping up.
And do you know who's going to coach that?
Mrs. Kennedy?
Tell us more.
All right, thanks, girls. I'm here with Miss Kennedy, our junior badminton coach. How are you today?
Doing good.
That's awesome. So your season's coming to an end. How is your, oh my goodness, okay.
You're good.
So your season's wrapping up. How have you guys done so far?
So far, we've gone to a few tournaments. We've come back with some golds and silvers, and basically doing really well. Hoping to bring back a bunch of silvers and golds in the next couple days. Some bronzes maybe, but we got some last 2 weeks. So
That's awesome. And so districts are coming up. It's like your end tournament, right? And what are your, what do you hope to have, or, hold on.
You're good.
I need to reword what I'm thinking.
What are your goals for your veteran players and those that are going to experience it for the first time?
Oh, so districts are coming up, and what are your goals for, say, your older players and your younger players that are, this may be their first time at districts?
okay. Our veteran players, we've had quite a few that have been playing with us since grade 7, and so those kids are probably going to be obviously our top picks to go to districts. They'll be very experienced. They've been to a lot of tournaments as well, so they'll be good to go. We might have to pull up, because we always pull up players from our red shirt players or from our B team, because we have a lot of players that are on the team. B team players, we might pull them up if they are new to tournaments. Then we obviously are going to have to walk them through the actual rules and how to play and getting all those things out of the way. Hopefully at practice before they show up, and hopefully they'll pull out, get some experience, maybe not medal, but that's okay.
And how are you preparing for districts? What do your practices look like?
Right now, practices, we have our kids kind of put into their categories. So we have boys singles, girls singles, boys doubles, girls doubles, and mixed doubles. And so they've kind of got them now into their teams and where they're going to practice. So we'll have them playing against other teams that are, we have 2 of each. So we have those 2 play off, and they do the full best of 3 match, because that's what it's going to be like, trying to simulate basically whatever we do in practice, what's going to happen in the tournament. Explain some of the more detailed rules, like calling the other team if they are not making calls that you agree with, what you would do, calling over a ref, those kinds of things, all the processes that we need to prepare for.
And so you mentioned you had redshirt players. How many people do you have involved in your junior program?
This year we have kept 24 with our 16 team players, and then we had an extra about 4 or 5 players on the girls and boys, so that we could pull them up into if we needed to. And then the B team, I think, has about 15 to 16 players on the B team, so we've actually got quite a few players. The previous year we had 78 kids to come try out and had to cut a lot more, but it worked out anyway. So
That's amazing. And what has been your favorite part about this season?
favorite part about this season is beating our rivalries at their home tournament. We had brought over 2 full teams because they asked us to bring a second set of 8 players over, and they only had gold and silver in the 5 categories. So out of 10 categories, we got 7 medals. So
Wow.
we kicked butt.
Nice. All right, thank you so much. Back to you, girls.
Glad to see that our sports teams are doing well. We should probably get outside to go clear the air, like all of our teams are doing.
We should sure do. We'll see you in the next episode.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today